Dear Lord, we thank you for this day. We thank you for the privilege of being able to serve you. Your word says that if we lack wisdom, you would give it to us liberally. Lord, I would ask that you not only give us knowledge and wisdom liberally, but you would give us the ability to listen and act upon it. We just ask for your guidance this morning in Christ Jesus' name. Amen.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you, everyone. Roll call, please.
Goff here.
Yes.
Brady.
Here.
Johnston.
Here.
Brumman.
Here.
Nutt.
Here.
All right. All present and accounted for. Approved minutes from the August 5th, 2020 meeting.
So moved.
Supported. Anybody?
I'll second it.
Supported by Gary.
Yes,
Any discussions?
please.
Yes.
Commissioners, additional comments? That should be Commissioner Brumman, not Johnson.
Yeah. I
Yeah.
didn't get rebuked.
You didn't rebuke me.
Second page.
Third page.
No, it sounds like I got rebuked.
Oh,
Yeah.
with that change on
You see that stuff?
Oh,
Who was it supposed to be?
Probably
Brumman.
Commissioner Brumman.
Yeah. Well, you can't accuse me of not reading the minutes.
No. Unanimous consent on the change, everybody?
Yes.
All right.
but you would have if I hadn't, right? There's a no comment if I saw one.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Yes.
Aye. Opposed? Carries. All right. Public comment. 3 minutes per person. Public. Greg Anderson. Or
Are we going in order or what are we doing here?
Oh, I got it.
All right, I'll go.
Carrie. Name and serial number.
Carrie Mullins, 379. No, I'm sorry, that's my SSN. That's as close as we get. No. Carrie Mullins, Chair for the Alcona County Republicans. I'm here in support of Gary Vanuk's resolutions. In particular, the one, well, I support both of them, but in particular, Whitmer's extensions, her endless extensions, have often been vindictive. They're illogical, they're unreasonable. Any person with a scientific or medical background, like myself, that I've talked to, that I've conferred with, the nature of this COVID-19 is not nearly as infectious and as bad as they say it is. We've dropped the bell curve. We're doing more testing, so yes, there's more positives, but the death rate remains exceedingly, exceedingly low. And yet, our lockdown has increased, and we're lumped in with Saginaw and all those other large cities that we don't have hardly anything going on. It makes no sense. Whitmer's reasoning makes no sense. One of the things that she has not allowed for, and that a lot of people who are for the lockdowns have not allowed for, is the trust in their fellow man. I trust my fellow citizens to do what is right for them and their families, and I don't think that should be denied anybody, and I don't think we should live in fear. So I am in complete support of Gary's resolution. That's the 9. Blah. Anyways, and then the other one is in regards to racism, systemic racism. We don't have it in this country. We really do not have systemic racism in this country. We have people who get offended. They get offended all the time. It is no reason to riot, loot, murder, maim, and it disgusts me how people have not denounced that and decreed it. It's absolutely awful to see Nancy Pelosi or Whitmer or anybody like that, oh, it's okay to go, and they call them peaceful protests. You're not going to spread corona if you go and do that stuff. But if you go to the Capitol building in Lansing for your Second Amendment rights, oh, we're all going to die. It makes no sense. It's insulting to think that everybody is a racist, and it drives me crazy. And we need to speak up, and I'm also in support of that one. So there's my 2 cents.
Thank you.
I'm Chris Anderson, Secretary of the Alcona County Republicans and local resident. I too am in complete support of Gary's resolutions. As far as the racism goes, I think the current mindset is sending us back, 50 or 60 years. And, what are these people thinking, and what are the people our age that lived through the whole civil rights movement thinking about this? We fought long and hard for equality, equal justice, equal opportunity, equal everything. And now everybody wants segregation again. We want just blacks over here and just whites over here. What are they thinking? What are they trying to do to all of our liberties? I'm appalled, absolutely appalled. And as far as the resolution regarding the COVID, I think it's high time we take back our control over our county, our homes, our livelihood. Governor Whitmer is killing Alcona County and other counties like us, and there is absolutely no reason for it. I have seen study after study and read article after article, and I have believed right from the start that this is truly no worse than the H1N1 flu that we had a few years ago. And in fact, it is proven that it is 78% identical to SARS-1. The reason they don't want the hydroxychloroquine, yeah, that's a mouthful, is that it works if you use it immediately at the first signs of the disease. That works along with the zinc. The zinc is what is knocking out the virus, and the hydroxychloroquine gets the zinc to the cells more efficiently and more effectively, but it only works if you start it in the first day or two of the disease. After that, it's much less effective. And case in point, we've been using Zicam for colds for 20 years now. Greg and I can count on one hand the number of colds we've had between us in that time. If you start it right away, the zinc knocks it out. If you wait until the 3rd or 4th day, it's a whole lot less effective. If you wait and take it after that, it doesn't do anything. So it's pretty much all the same thing. It's the zinc that's doing the job, and the hydroxychloroquine gets it into your cells a lot faster. Big Pharma doesn't want us to know that, and the Democrats don't want us to know that because it goes against their narrative and makes it so much harder for them to keep us under their thumbs. I'm ready to climb out from under that thumb. I don't know about the rest of you. So, Gary, I applaud you and your resolutions. Thank you.
Thanks, Christine. Anyone else? Dave?
My name's Dave Adams, Icato Township. I'm here in support of Gary's resolution. I echo what the other people have said, that the racism is disgusting, and it is pushing us back into the 60s when people were being hung by the KKK, burning crosses. But the racism, the racist, are the ones that are claiming it. Whitmer and the rest of them, these Democrats that stand up there and race bait every time they get up and speak. And it's high time that we stand up and have a spine, being conservative Republicans, we've been quiet and polite for too long, and they've gained more and more ground because of it. So we have to take a stand and stand up for what we truly believe and hold dear to our hearts, which is the freedom that we enjoy here in our county. I mean, nobody can deny that. We do basically what we want. We self-police ourselves. So, that being said, the COVID-19 thing is, I just heard a report yesterday that some of these tests they're using now are giving out false positives.
Yep.
And it's a particular one, I can't remember which one. So there's so much back and forth data on this thing. The numbers have been fudged. If you're killed on a motorcycle accident, you died from COVID-19. So who can believe any of this crap that these people are trying to jam down our throats? And I believe that after November 3rd, COVID will fade from the news cycle and the impeachments will start all over again. So, Gary, thank you for taking a stand for us, and I would plead with you, other commissioners, to get on board with that, and we need to stand. The times for political correctness is over. We can't be on the fence anymore. You got to stand up for what you really truly believe. So, thank you for hearing me, and have a good day.
Thanks, Dave.
Thanks, Dave.
Any other public comment?
Is there anybody online? No?
All right, hearing none. We'll continue on to presentations. We don't have any. Any other new business want to be added to the agenda? All right, so unfinished business. Dave, we took our time and went out to every single point in the county and got ourselves, so we knew this whole thing. So we wanted a little time to look at this remonumentation. Any questions anybody had, hopefully were answered, because we need an answer on
Oh, I
this.
thought he was going to be on with us today.
He's right there.
Oh, I'm sorry. I do have a couple, and I talked to Dave on a few things on it. If I understand correctly, Dave, we've gone from 4 to 3 surveyors at this point.
Yes,
Now, I know the money has also gone down.
well, it's gone down, I got some tentative numbers for this year, and it's gone from about 45,000 to 30,000.
Right.
So, you know, we're maybe looking at 20 corners,
For a difference of 14,000.
yeah.
I guess, and with the drop in money, maybe that's appropriate to only have 3. I would feel, and I know I believe we had an Alcona County surveyor at one time.
Long time ago, possibly. A county surveyor
No, a surveyor that,
that lived in the
on the
county,
remonumentation
Yeah.
that lived in Alcona
that
County.
would have been John Oliver,
Yeah,
and he's decided not to participate.
right. Well, he's trying to retire, I think, trying to. I guess, from my perspective, I see merit in, rather than, and that was one reason we talked about the map, and I was trying to see if, I'd like to make sure there's a balance between the north and the south, and I can't help but wonder.
Well, there isn't, because the philosophy we've used from the beginning is we went to the corners that affected, in the more
The majority of
populated
people.
areas, the more parcels of land.
I get that to a point. I just don't, I don't want to have Curtis, Mankato, and Greenbush, the very last ones on the totem, to get done.
Well, I don't think you are if you look at the map.
No, well, and when I count up the numbers that,
See,
Still, yeah.
the Mankato Township, there's an awful lot of public land that we're
Right,
taking out of the
right.
program. And if you look at Greenbush Township, almost all of the corners are completed. There's just a few meander corners along the lake shore that we haven't done.
Yeah, and you listed how many still had to be done in each township.
Yeah, if you
And I
look at that
appreciate
summary sheet,
There it is. Nope, that's not it. I know I saw it somewhere.
towards the back.
Yeah, summary card. Yeah.
There it is, I found it.
Page 9.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I realize that there are not that many in Greenbush or in Decatur to be done. And I agree where the greatest activity, to some degree, is the most beneficial is to do those. I just, it's been a concern of mine. Not life and death, doesn't keep me up at night, but still it crosses my mind every so often. At least every time we renew, not more often than that. Well, every time when we get the reports. So I just, and with reduction in money, I can see not going to the four full
Well,
surveyors.
let me address that. We have
Thank you.
3 in Alpena County,
Right,
and they've participated. We've only had 3 for a long time.
Right.
I will say that the more we have, the harder it is to manage. You've got more contracts. We're only allowed
course.
20% of the grant amount for administration. And between Sheila and I, we have to send reports to the state, do all
Right,
kinds of things.
right.
So the program is more manageable with 3
With 3.
contractors rather than 4. And especially in the next couple of years, because we're not gonna have much to work with.
right. I'll be happy to make the motion to approve the contract and authorize our chairman to sign. So I'm okay with that.
I will second that motion.
Have that, Steph?
Yes.
All right. Any other discussion?
No, I have none.
And I would extend appreciation to you, Dave, and to Sheila for the efforts. I'm a little bit aware, because of Sheila, who shared with me the reports and stuff they have to go in, and working with the state, because you don't get the intervention on the money, and the payments don't come in, and you're wrestling with that every year. So thank you both.
Appreciate your interest.
All right,
Thank you.
hearing no other discussion, all those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
We may
Need a
need
roll call,
to
probably.
do
Think
a
so?
roll call.
Roll
because-
call, please.
Gravy.
Yes.
Buck.
Yes,
Johnston.
Yes,
Gothier.
Yeah.
Brumman.
Yes.
motion carries.
See you, Dave.
thanks, Dave.
Oh, before you move on to new business, Sheila does have something that needs to be guys on there.
Okay.
Cheryl just brought this down, and it looks like it's a second request. It's for the audit, and it needs a signature. So, they didn't receive the first request, so said that it just needs a signature so that they can submit it.
It's just, so it is a pass-through entity state of Michigan. Okay, it's not,
It's more of a financial,
yeah, DNR, okay.
yeah, and you can see on, I think, the last paragraph on the bottom of the second letter, just requesting, it might be highlighted. Requesting signatures as soon as possible.
It's highlighted right
Yeah.
there.
Well, okay, well, if there nobody objects, we'll do this first.
Yeah.
Okay,
It's for the audit.
yep. Let me just read it so everybody, because we didn't have a copy of it. So as a pass-through entity, the state of Michigan Department of Natural Resources is subject to the requirements of 2 CFR Part 200. The 2 CFR Part 200 requires the DNR to monitor our subrecipients of federal funds, determine whether they are meeting the audit requirements and are compliant with the CFR. Under the terms of 2 CFR Part 200, grantees who expend $750,000 or more in federal funds within their fiscal year shall have a single audit performed. This audit must be completed with copies provided to the appropriate pass-through agencies within 9 months from the end of the grantee's fiscal year. Please note this requirement applies to federal funds from all funding resources, not just the DNR. A response was never received from your agency for fiscal year 2019. Therefore, we are requesting that you complete the enclosed subrecipient response form, whether you are aware or not required to have a single audit performed for fiscal year 2019, which I don't think we were. We're under the 750, right? We didn't require a single audit. Okay, but we got to do it anyway. Please provide all appropriate documentation no later than September 30th, 2020. So that, and it's all filled out, so we're all good.
So we need a motion for,
Need a motion to allow me to sign that and get it, have Cheryl will send it out. You guys will
I'll make
send
a
it out.
motion that we allow our chairman to sign.
Second by Brady.
Any other discussion? You guys want a roll call again, or can we just do an aye?
We don't have to, it's not
All
much.
those in favor say aye.
Yes.
Yes.
Opposed? Motion carries. All right. Right. All right, new business, claims.
Okay, I'd like to make a motion to approve the pre-authorized claims and open claims presented for payment between August the 5th, 2020 and August 18th, 2020 for check numbers 141561 to 141713 and e-check numbers 1356 to 1368 for a grand total of $929,037.71.
Is there support?
Second by Brady.
Been moved and supported. Discussion? Hearing none, roll call.
Brumman,
Yes.
Gothier,
Yes.
Brady,
Yes.
Spinell,
Yes.
Johnson.
Yes. You want me to sign this one, Steph, or you gonna have your own?
I have two things for you to sign now, so.
All right. That's completed, that's completed. All right, next item, Michigan Unemployment Workshare Program. So, as all of you know, we're coming up on the end of the month when we had an agreement with the unions for the Workshare Program. It should be appropriate for us to have a discussion, I think, and on our direction we're gonna go here after the end of the month. I did have a conversation with Aaron, talked about us continuing it, not necessarily with, so our agreement with them is through the end of August. Whether or not we continue with them in any sort of a reduction it hasn't been negotiated. However, I said to her that we would like to continue the Workshare program and perhaps have an agreement that would allow us to negotiate whatever reductions there are going forward. If I remember right, our conversation with Avis was you don't want to get out of it and try to get back in. That'd be very difficult, so we want to stay in it.
I'd like to make a motion so we can start discussion.
Well, we need a motion to do what?
Okay, I'd like to make a motion that we continue the Workshare program pending agreement with the unions through the end of 2020.
Very good.
Support.
All right,
I would like to say something on that if I could.
sure.
Sure.
So I've been doing some research in that with what the president signed in the executive order he was placing and with what they've come up with thus far. And what they're looking at is they were discussing a $400 a week, the extra money for the $400 a week. That's what the president signed, but the states are refusing it because they don't have the money to back it up. So they're looking at $300, which the states still do not have the money to back up. Part of this plan is anybody that makes under $100 a week on the Workshare program or unemployment period will not be eligible for this extra money.
So the only way that any of our people would be eligible for that is they would have to have a 30% reduction, and we're
Mhm.
still gonna get that.
That's under, but that hasn't been approved yet.
Right.
No, but that's what they're planning, is to make it so anybody working and making under $100 unemployment will not
State
be
unemployment, yeah.
The motion only allows us to proceed if in fact we choose to. And as we know, we don't have to submit a name, any names, any weeks.
And that's the intent, I think, of the motion, is to continue the work share program,
Exactly.
not necessarily certify anybody, but not have to
As-
go through the whole application process, which I don't even think we can do, can you? Once you drop out, you can't get back in for a year or 6 months or some,
Yeah.
there's a period of time. So
Yeah, so-
I think the motion is.
That's
that
my
we-
intent. The intent is for us to stay involved within that
To lose our-
program.
Don't lose our place in
Yeah, we
line.
don't lose our place in line, and we're gonna see what comes out. We still have through the end of August, but, so our clerk, and it doesn't go right to the last minute, as our treasurer suggested to us, is allow this to continue on, and then we'll just have to see what happens as we go into this farther. But it's still, that's what the intent of the motion
Yeah,
is.
we still have the opportunity to qualify or not qualify,
Right,
so,
Exactly.
certify, sorry.
yeah,
Right.
certified, yeah.
Make sense to you? Yeah, that's
Yeah.
kind of what,
And I
you're
totally
neck deep in
understand.
it, so you know what we're at. And how, is it going, it's doing what it's doing, right?
Question for Kim. Just a quick question, Kim. If we keep in the program, but we don't wind up doing anything with anybody, does that still involve work on your behalf? Do you still have to send in reports of that to
If we're
keep us?
not
Yes.
certifying, I don't believe so.
Yeah.
But we would have to do an extension because we've only signed up through August.
Well, no, I'm just saying though, if we go into it again in September and,
We have to do an extension.
right, but I'm just saying, is there work involved?
Not to my knowledge, because I've not had a week, we haven't certified anybody yet, so I'm not sure what that would entail. I'm thinking not, but. I'll have to look into that.
Anyone else? All right, we'll vote. All those in favor of the motion,
Aye.
signify by saying aye.
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 All those opposed?
No?
Motion carries. So, do you want to get the paperwork? Do you know what the extension paperwork looks like? Is there an extension? I mean, we're in
We
it.
have to certify again, or we have to do our forms all over again and extend the period to whatever period we want. So everything's gotta be redone, but
If we do a certification of percentages, what if we do nothing? Are
we
we,
still have to either recertify or we're done.
okay,
'Cause
Yeah,
so we have to certify every 2 weeks,
We
or,
have to
Fill out the form
documentation, like
again.
We're starting all over
okay,
and
Not every 2 weeks.
add an extension to the time. And then we
Okay.
have to put all the names in and everything like we did all over again.
And then this is gonna raise a question to address your hours, because your hours were raised through the month of August.
Right?
okay. So I think that was Gary's point, was if there's nothing to do, then we wouldn't have those hours. If we're not certifying anybody, if there's nothing happening, what we want to do is remain in the work share program. We may not certify anybody for a month or two. Maybe nobody involved in it, but we're still in the work share program.
So we have to
Right.
redo all the paperwork as we did it in the beginning, and then we'll be doing an extension. And we have to give them a date that we're projecting to go through, and submit everything as we did in the beginning, the 3 sections all over again.
Because our original application said just through the end of August, August 30th,
It's got it through September 5th.
okay,
Because they end
because of
on
a pay
Saturday.
period. Well, I think that's the whole point of this is this is the 18th, this gives the clerk's office some time before September 5th to get this done.
I don't think you said in your motion how late you want, when do you want the new
I
date?
said through the end of the
Through
year.
the end of the year, okay, I didn't,
Right.
I missed it.
Yeah.
Okay, so we'll readjust that, and can you get that paperwork to us? We can sign it and get it done?
So we can address her hours the first meeting in September then?
Yeah, I think that'd be appropriate, and see where we're at, because we may very well have an agreement to extend certification to employees depending on, I mean, we might be shut down again, and I don't, my personal feeling is we're not gonna pay everybody again for 3 months. We'll use the work share program to make people whole instead of us.
So then we do have a discussion on that, because if we certify them at 10% or 20%, we can't change that. So whatever we set the certification at,
Yeah.
that's what it is.
It's true, we can't adjust that, and so there,
We don't know what's gonna happen.
But
and
it
the
sounds
20%
like she's
right
gotta
now
make a
would
decision.
disqualify some for the federal payment.
Not
Can
sure.
you certify up, can you request up to and then certify for less? Or you have to certify exactly?
It has to be whatever we set the amount
I
at,
think, yeah,
or we have to end it and, we may be able to. Not sure how they set it, but there's supposed to be a way that we can go in and make changes, but I don't know if it mean stopping it and restarting it, or how, what we have to do with it.
Okay,
I think she needs to research it.
yeah, can you look into that and appreciate it? Is that all right with you, Steph?
Well, I guess I have a dumb question at this point, then what are we agreeing to if we haven't got the percentages? Or don't we need those just to,
We don't need them, I mean, the only reason, one of the reasons we'd need them is if there's gonna be probably some sort of a formula that comes out disqualifies people for the federal money. Are we gonna adjust the percentage based on that or not?
but I mean, is that something that we require all of us to say this is what the percentages are gonna be? Or is somebody gonna make the overall decision that, oh, this isn't gonna work unless it's 30%, therefore I say make it 30%?
Good point.
Do you understand the
Yep,
question?
yep, yep.
Well,
Were you wanting to say something, Stephanie, or?
we're in the current program till September 5th. The next meeting is September 3rd.
Okay, that's what I was looking for.
Right.
Oh,
So.
So we can
we're-
decide
we're-
then on the
we're-
percentage.
We have this time, 2 weeks, to see if they make any difference in what their system's gonna be for the federal money. You know, if they don't make it, I mean, that's all we can do right now, is let the paperwork get started, get everything in there, and then see what happens the next couple of weeks.
Mhm.
I mean, if they do come through and say, hey, you gotta have 30% reduction in order to qualify for the federal money, well, then that's definitely something you gotta look at, you know.
All right,
and would
Fair
that
enough.
give her enough time to get what she needs to get accomplished?
I mean, you,
I mean, I'm
The
just
heavy
wanna make
lifting's
sure
been
we're
done,
crossing
probably.
up.
Yeah.
Cause I mean, it's not gonna do any good to jump through all the hoops and then, oh, you screwed this up, you're out.
yeah, as long as we get it in before the 5th.
Yeah.
And all your tough stuff's been done, right? You've got everything, all the names in and
Yeah, all that's been certified.
Social security numbers.
It's all gotta be redone with
Yeah.
every submission,
yeah.
so there's a few spreadsheets.
but I think Ava's indicated that it becomes then more of a cut and paste
Yeah.
I don't
rather
know.
than a full reentry.
All right, so you research that, let us know if anything more we gotta do.
Also too, we have to take into consideration if the governor doesn't approve this, then all this we're doing too, it's not gonna matter. She has to agree to it and she has not yet. So that's what it kind of stems down to is the governor.
Right,
She applied for it though, I read that.
yeah,
She applied for the 3%.
The 300.
It'd only be 300.
right.
And the other wet blanket, I mean, if we're just doing these discussions, so the other wet blanket is, I don't know when, they haven't said when we are gonna realize any costs either.
Right.
That hasn't happened. So far, there's no cost to us. It could all change in this new thing, so, and we'd have to look at that also. So,
And in the meantime, Kim's been collecting all the unemployment sheets that have been coming in with the exact amounts, and that's gonna be some more reporting into, I'm sure, on the clerk's office end.
We've got a few people that-
Curtis, can we step out of here for, well, let me, we talk to him right now, or, I hate to do that,
Curtis,
Brown.
Why don't we-
We'll go
I'll
recess, make a motion to
just talk-
recess.
I'll make a motion to recess.
5 minutes.
All right, so
minutes.
moved. All right, Curtis. Hey. Thank you.
I made the motion, Dan seconded.
Yep.
Just so that the people at home. Sorry.
Discussion?
Yeah, I just have two quick changes. I made two changes on it, Stephanie. I can send them to you corrected in the fourth whereas with counties was duplicated.
What
And-
paragraph?
The fourth one. And the sixth one is mask saves lives in quotation. There, it was, the "the" is supposed to be a "there."
Oh, okay.
Then I won't speak to it. I guess I'll let you guys,
The sixth paragraph?
Yeah, it says the was, and it's there was.
there was no control, you know.
I knew there was a duplicate.
Thank you.
Need other, what else still reading? Let's talk about the therefore be it resolved. If you would,
Which one?
or the first one, actually.
Okay.
Third one up from the bottom, first one. That we, the Alcona County Commissioners, are respectively requesting you cease issue any more executive orders concerning matter.
This matter. Oh, okay, that
This
should be.
matter, okay, that's what that's supposed to, and are respectively requesting you cease the issue of any more executive orders concerning this matter. Is that what that's supposed to read?
Yes.
Okay. Cease issuing any, so that's an ing, any more executive orders concerning this
Issuing.
matter.
Thank you. I'm sorry.
That you allow us as a governing board to use our judgment and health resource officer, I assume you're meaning DHD2,
Correct.
comma, rather than your lack of knowledge of the area.
Yes.
Okay.
With the legislation.
I mean, I know what our point is here. The tone of our letter was respectful. I think when we put in there your lack of knowledge of the area. Now, you mean the area, Alcona County?
Right.
Correct.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's what it's saying.
She,
Maybe have geographical in there.
Mm-hmm. Of our local area?
Yeah,
I
it could be.
can go with that.
Yeah.
So there's a little bit of a conflict here. We're saying no more executive orders, but then in the next one, we're saying if you do an executive order, you got to work with the legislative body.
Well, no, if they need to do anything to handle this, it becomes out of the unilateral executive order. She has to work with the legislature to do anything else in this manner.
So would you be willing to put in that we, the Alcona County Commissioners, are respectively requesting you cease issuing any more executive orders without legislative input?
Well, you don't need legislative, you don't
Because
need
there would be
executive
no more
orders.
Executive orders.
Yeah, there
Any
Would
actions
be,
taken.
would be
So then-
legislatively.
Yeah. It wouldn't be
I
executive
see.
order,
Yes,
it's
Lord.
works with the legislation.
Yes. In other words, the two would have to work hand in hand to take care of it, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
I mean, that's what we hired Sue and Jim for.
So because you work with the elected.
I mean, that was the problem, you know. Tristan and Sue had respectfully asked
Yeah.
her to do it, and she said no.
Any other discussion?
I'll make a motion, then we accept it as amended.
You didn't amend a lot, but I mean, if you are willing to just,
Yeah, I mean,
maybe just,
Friendly and
yeah,
adjustments.
friendly adjustments. All right, and hearing no other discussion, we'll do a roll call. All
Drummond.
those in favor?
Yes.
Brady,
Oh, man. Why do I gotta be second?
Do you want to go first?
I don't like the part about the civil disobedience and people should break the laws, but Yes.
Johnston,
Yes.
Gothier,
Yep. Yes.
Knopf.
Yes.
All right, motion passes, or resolution passes.
And that would be resolution 2020-13.
Oh, lucky number.
Did you get the changes?
Yes.
The-
Thank you, sir.
No.
I was meaning Craig for correcting.
So background, we did do a letter. It has not reached her desk yet. So Oscoda County voted last week on that, approved it unanimously. We have one superintendent yet to put his name on it. There was a little snafu. The representatives got in a little ahead of us and were denied. So we are still sending the one that we had with all 5 superintendents and both county boards of commissioners and the health officer. So we're still in.
Legislatures did that, sign it, legislators.
They sent their own
Oh,
and put it in ahead of ours,
no.
and she smacked them down.
Basically saying the, what is it, the Merck
Merck.
Board
Michigan Economic Recovery Council.
says we're fine where we're at in Region 3.
4.
4, yeah.
All right, so that's taken care of. Next item is the resolution opposing Executive Directive 2020-9, protester violence, the false narrative of Americans being
American
systematic,
history,
racist, and false history, and support for that's a mouthful.
Yeah.
And support for local law enforcement unjustly portrayed. All right. Background. There's a lot of background here.
Yeah, there's a lot.
So we've had it. Everybody has read it, I hope. Is there a motion to,
I'll make a motion to bring it.
is there support?
I'll support it.
All right, moved and supported. Discussion.
I'll go over it basically. If there's certain things in there you probably will not know if you haven't really checked any of the references out, other than Abraham Lincoln being in the body of the whereases. Every person I quoted in there is black. The pastors were black. I mean, you know, you have, and just to break it down into parts, Martin Luther King talked about protesting without, you know, rioting and looting and damaging. Thurgood Marshall, Associate Justice on the Supreme Court, he'd also made that comment. The things that I go into, this one, the only thing I added to it was Jefferson's original draft of the Declaration of Independence. In the original draft of the Declaration of Independence, he had spoken against the slavery that the King of England was imposing upon him. Unfortunately, due to the states of Georgia and South Carolina, they wouldn't sign the unanimous consent declaration unless that was pulled. But a lot of historical facts in there that people don't know. They don't know that we had black legislators back after the Civil War. They don't know that we had a black Speaker of the House. They didn't know that there was a Civil Rights Act in 1875. People that I've talked to about that have said, well, I couldn't have been as good as the one in 1964. And yes, it was. As a matter of fact, I believe these people were a little more educated and a lot more fluent in English than a lot of us have become in latter years. I brought up the Michigan Constitution because it talks about, you know, religion, morality, and, you know, and knowledge being necessary for good government. I referenced the Holy Trinity case because that talked about us also being a Christian nation. It was just decided by one person we no longer were. The things that religion had taught us, that number one, that man has a wicked and deceitful heart. We don't teach that anymore. We don't teach in Acts where we're all of one blood, came through two ancestors that were born back 6,000 years ago, that God does not respect persons, and that if we don't learn to forgive, which is what I went through in the next ones, was learning to forgive and going forward. Richard Allen was a black pastor back in the 1700s, who was also a slave at the time, had said that, you know, we have to learn to forgive some of these people, and they're working toward abolishing this thing. And you can go from there. There was a point we need to heal. Painting, and then I got into the things with the police misconduct that started this whole thing. Supposedly was the incident that took place in Minnesota, and painting all cops as being racist and not caring toward a certain demographic of people, to me, is just out of line. Since I originally wrote this, there was never an executive directive talking about racism being anything, you know. Gretchen Whitmer has now considered it a public health crisis. We have we've had a few resolutions coming out of other counties on this matter. And, you know, at this point, I just couldn't see being silent on this matter anymore. And I had talked to people, I have circulated this. I've had a lot of support for it, other than the people that are in this room. And with that, I've got nothing further to say, unless somebody has questions.
Any other discussion?
You have a motion and a second.
We have a motion and a second. So I'm looking at your second, therefore be it resolved. Oh, no, yeah. Rescind. So we're asking for a rescinding of her order. We support our sheriff.
Yes.
And his department, yeah. That we stand opposed to any misrepresentation of history. Fair enough. Nation that does not remember what does yesterday's trying to do. Okay. So
which also it goes to the statue thing. I have a problem with that. I mean, over in Germany, concentration camps still stand because they never want to forget what they did wrong. It's not that we honor these people, but it gives you an opportunity to talk about it. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to.
Yep. The Alcona Board of Commissioners rejects the notion from its inception this county has been systemically racist. For a short time of existence, we as a nation have worked diligently. So the next one is kind of a problem. That the actions of the Michigan Senate passing Senate Bill 945 is nothing more than a show vote, an attempt at appeasing a group who they cannot appease. So our previous resolution, we asked for the elected legislature to represent us and make these. So they did that here.
I'm willing to drop that one, if that makes you comfortable.
I would feel that would be appropriate.
I will go with that one.
And
That one does not bother my sensibilities. And the reason why I've got people doing their due diligence in electing their public servants
I think
is
that's
because
absolutely required.
this is where the problem really starts.
I think that is to me, that says it all right there. That everybody needs to elect the people who are going to serve what they feel their right needs are.
Right.
All right. I don't have anything else. Any other discussion? Roll call.
So that one, therefore.
He agrees to remove that. You got that?
Stephanie? Thank you.
All right. Roll call?
Gothier,
Yes.
Drummond,
Yes.
Johnston,
Yes.
Brady,
Yes.
Knut.
Yes.
Motion passes.
I'd like to comment just that Gary and I don't always agree on a lot of things, really. But having said that, I appreciate the diligence that you put into these and the effort that you put into it, and I would like to acknowledge that.
Well, I appreciate that. I'd like to take credit, but, you know, I believe in divine guidance, and I trip across this stuff. And to me, being silent on certain matters is capitulating to them, and I don't want to capitulate to what I think is wrong. So
yeah.
thank you very much, Carolyn. I appreciate it, though.
I think it brings to light what maybe we are getting painted with a brush it's, I think Dave, you brought it up. It's kind of like reverse racism.
Yeah.
You know, you guys are all racist. Well, we're not. It's not
No,
how
I
we
mean-
are. I mean, you can't just say you all are.
Well,
It's the same as,
My
Yeah.
family immigrated from Poland in the 1900s. As a matter of fact, they left when 3 of what would be my great granduncles died,
Mhm.
when they were taken into war by the Tsar when they were fighting Russia.
all right,
Pass them down.
all of them?
Yep,
Resolution
Pat, then goes to Carolyn.
dash 14.
Both of them
Thank
go
you.
to Carolyn, both go to Adam. Both go to you.
I have two. Oh, there are two?
Yeah, there's two different ones.
All right, thank you.
You got one for me, Dan? I'm sorry.
All right. And is this a motion to do these?
Well, not yet. I mean, the treasurer's report's next, but
Yeah.
that's, if you want to start the treasurer's report,
Sure.
or Sheila's here, I mean, I don't know. if
Well,
she-
these are coming from us though, right?
Right,
so-
so we need to approve some operational transfer line items.
So let's do this under like a finance committee report?
Sure,
All right. let's do
whatever you
that.
wanna do. Yep. Wanna do that now?
Yep.
Okay, all right.
All right, discussion.
So,
Each one of these, go ahead.
Yeah,
give us a
well, the
rundown.
first one, $400 is, we need to take $400 out of our contingency to cover bank fees. It's just some monies that we just didn't have enough in our original budget to handle that. The next one of 4,000, we're pulling money out of an HSA account that was not used, that was over budgeted, to cover refunds that the treasurer's office had to handle. The next one, $1,750 was pulled out of the HSA account that was not needed to be used, to cover refunds.
Are these the refunds on that court order or that decision on property taxes?
No,
That wasn't it?
Different?
no, what is it? The refunds are on, Sheila?
I'm trying to remember what was.
Oh, I got them. I mean, we just approved, they just came through today, but it was monies, she can tell you, the treasurer can tell.
Isn't it from repayment of taxes that were,
That's what I thought.
Yeah, that's what it was.
Is it
People
repayment of
overpaying
taxes?
yeah.
It's not, hasn't nothing to do with
Yeah,
that.
not
Not the foreclosure one.
No,
No,
it's,
no.
no, it's
Working on that.
There was
repayment
another
of
one that
taxes.
was done though, that there was a refund for taxes overpaid. She
I'm
brought that
not
up at the
sure.
last meeting and said that there
I'm
was,
sorry, I don't recall that. That does not.
Okay.
recall that.
I don't have it here with me. Anyway, we handled
Okay.
that in our finance.
Yep.
And then the last one, we just received a bill from our audit, being done, completed, and it was just $1,150 over what we had budgeted for 2020 for our audit, and that's really a lot to do with the COVID and having to be down here and back and forth and what happened, so we needed to transfer that $1,150 out of our contingency, which still leaves us a balance of $52,654 in our contingency fund. So we need to, I'll make a motion to approve those operational transfers. Yeah.
it's been motioned and seconded. Any other discussion? The one I was thinking, Sheila, was that the tax tribunal one's 245.
Correct. Yes,
Is that part of it?
yes.
Okay, so
No,
these
you're
is those,
right, it's board of reviews and tribunals.
so
Right.
that's
Yeah.
what those
I
refunds.
thought you
Yeah.
were thinking more of the court.
No, no,
No,
no.
no,
No.
that's what they were.
The board, the tribunal ones.
Right, tribunal.
Got it, okay. All right, moved and supported, any other discussion? All those in favor, say aye.
No,
No,
roll call, right?
I know,
Roll,
I just
buddy.
wanted to see if everybody was on their toes.
Good test.
See how I was apprehensive and roll call,
why
please.
you have to test it?
Benoit,
Yes.
Gravy,
Yes.
Brumman,
yes,
Gothier,
Yes,
Johnson.
Yes,
I want to go back to school.
all right. Anything else from finance? So our audit is done? Is that what you're saying? Did I hear that? Audit's done?
Not yet. We haven't got the final word. It's close,
Okay,
but we haven't got the final word
No,
yet.
correct, we have not.
Yeah.
That's what I was gonna put in my treasurer's
Okay.
report.
Okay,
I'll wait for you then.
Yeah.
okay.
Anything else
Oh,
from
yeah,
finance?
other thing in finance is that, we're meeting weekly. They've been really doing good. We're meeting again after our meeting today. And everything, we're starting to work with some of our department heads on the 2021 budget preliminary numbers, so we're moving right along pretty good. Staying on top of everything within our 2020 budget, and then when the audit's done and we get those final numbers, then we can really have a lot better handle on it, but everything's proceeding very good.
Good. All right, treasurer's report. Sheila.
We don't have a whole lot to report. I did want to touch base on the audit. We are wrapping up. There are still a few things that, they're having Cheryl do some journal entries and adjusting. But it should be, I would think, completed by definitely the beginning of next week. Other than that, I did give you guys just our, of all the funds, our cash flow. You can kind of see where we're at with all that in the general fund. Revenues still are down a little bit.
Down in comparison to last year, or down?
We were just, yeah, compared to last
We
year.
are down. Yeah, I noticed the same.
They're good.
But, well, I mean,
But
we
I
know
mean-
why. Some of it is 3 months of court not having revenues.
Sure.
And Sheriff's Department not having revenues and. All right, anything else? Very good, thank you.
You're welcome.
Clerk's report?
I don't have too much to report on either. Just went right from the August primary, already getting ready for the November general, and it's still keeping us busy. And I had a couple of things to address, but I think that they'll be covered in the finance meeting.
Oh, great. All right, next. Communications. You got that in your packet. Hopefully you got to see that. Committee reports, Gary?
Mitchell Township, we met, they were glad they got their millages through. They going through their insurance company for the township. Curtis Township met. The biggest thing that they had coming up there was dealing with light. They're pushing really hard on that. There's been a lot of complaints on that. And mental health department, we actually kind of met for the first time in the room. We were able to distance out. I'll be happier when things get back to the real normal instead of the new normal. And that's it.
Mm-hmm. Dan, anything?
Last Friday had a 2.5 hour Zoom meeting with NEMSCA. That was interesting with 24 people trying to all handle a Zoom meeting. Have 2 more Zoom meetings tomorrow with NEMCOG and Michigan Works. But yesterday, Dave and myself met with the representative from MIRMA, our insurance company. Dave took them around to all our buildings right here in Harrisville. He took his pictures, answered all the questions and all that. Then I proceeded to take him to our 2 libraries in Lincoln, Harrisville, all the fairgrounds, the groomer pole barn out in Barton City, and then the EMS building in Lincoln and Barton City, and got that all done. Kind of interesting what the findings will come back, but I know on the fairgrounds, some of the buildings were really overinsured. I mean, there was the one pole barn open wall structure that they call the
Pavilion?
Yeah, the one pavilion was valued at 100 and some thousand, and it's just an open wall structure. Not knowing if the cattle barn and the pig barn were all connected, he didn't have the knowledge. But the gentleman was very thorough, and he ended up going to all the buildings on the fairgrounds and took all that down so he could really see. So it'll be interesting to see when it came back. But so we got all that done. So that was yesterday.
Good. Carolyn, do you have anything?
Just a little bit, CLIB is having their first public hearing this Friday. It's been in the newspaper the 2 weeks as required. Cedar Lake Dam, the control structure is, I forwarded to all of you, it's starting in, they're going to have a public, what do they call it? Groundbreaking, thank you. The ground's already broken, but that's okay. This Monday at, what time was that? 9
I don't
o'clock?
remember the time.
9
Are
o'clock.
you giving you the golden shovel?
I have enough of those, thank you very much. Had a senior
one more,
staff
too.
meeting, the personnel did, addressing the, what was that? Executive Order 169. I think it was, what's it, 167? Who knows, when you've got that many, you're having fun with them. Anyway, it required us to go back to, as we did early on, not the temperature taking, but the asking of the questions. There were 3 questions that, as you know, you're filling them out every day that you come in. I'm sure you are. I know these ladies are. Staff is doing that now indefinitely until we hear otherwise. Harbortown has a new toilet. Isn't that wonderful? It is that you're using it, it's broken. They're going to be having a tent sale on the Saturday of Labor Day weekend. Don't know the hours, but probably like 10 to 3 or something of that nature. Precious Paws will be. And Precious Paws did apply. If you recall, they asked us for an adjustment in the rent, and they did apply for a grant. They did receive it. They just don't know how much yet. And so whether or not they come back to us with an amended request or withdraw the request for
Good.
Rent adjustment, time will tell. We'll see how that plays out.
Excellent. Adam, you have anything?
Finance committee is working on, roping in EMS, or finance meetings that we're having weekly to, help keep that monitored and under control also.
Mhm.
To add to
Good idea.
Dan's statement, so
Mm-hmm.
I think the first one he'll be participating in would be today, but we wanna have him come in on the weeklies.
Yep, Scott's up there.
Yep. Sounds good.
I have
Anything
one
else?
more thing.
Dan?
I forgot, I met with the veterans yesterday. There was their first meeting after their millage had passed, and it was a very good meeting. And through our conversations and that, I highly suggested that they need to get started on a budget for 2021, and which is going to be completely different to anything that they've been used to. So we're going to have they voted on, and we're going to have a special meeting next Tuesday. They've invited Cheryl, our treasurer, to be at that meeting and start the process of developing their 2021 budget following our approved millage. So it was a very good meeting.
And one other thing that I forgot, 211 is, I think starting in like September, 1st of September, we'll be answering questions on COVID. The state has asked us to take that over, and I have mixed
What have they been
feelings.
doing up to this point? And somebody
Well-
called.
We've been referring them to
Oh.
to a health department or Michigan DHHS.
Hmm.
And because we had no information on it or anything,
Mhm.
and I have mixed feelings on it myself. We had a board meeting yesterday, a full board meeting, and we voted to do it. Our fear was if somebody else does it, they're gonna do a crappy job, so I said we'll do it.
A couple of townships and city meetings, nothing huge. We did have an EDC committee meeting. I'm gonna wait and let Doug come in at our next meeting and give an update on that, because a lot of stuff happening, but it's not completed yet. What else was there? I didn't have anything else. Oh, I did meet with Ben Weiss, who's the district ranger for the Forest
Oh,
Service. Spent 45 minutes with him. Didn't get anywhere by the end. They're still gonna move forward at this point. We might have something we can offer them in an antenna tower, but nothing in. So they've decided that they're gonna move that tower and go somewhere else with it. Yeah, and I said, well, they maybe have an agreement with the state, or looking for an agreement with the state on a state tower. So I looked into seeing if there's something we can do to offer them to be on our tower, and we could maybe get that off the cost or do some changes. I haven't heard back from him yet, so
We still haven't seen no paperwork on.
no paperwork, nothing's happened, so it's still, it's gonna happen from my
How about
gut
our
feeling.
Lake Tower?
Yeah, that's not ours. Talked to Jeff Brackett and,
That's CMU's, but in
Yeah.
the original agreement, we have first dibs on a place on that tower.
okay, get
That
me
was
that,
what we
that'll help me with,
negotiated.
negotiations with them. So I know we have room on this tower from the way Jeff talked. The Alcona Tower, we don't know what's going on with that for sure. We're locating on some tower up north, it's actually a state tower, is what they were looking for an agreement on, but I thought if we could offer them something and make it a little easier for us to get that building purchased, that'd be good, but other than that, that's all I have. Nothing else? All right, public comment? Carrie, did you read?
Okay.
Oh, you were reading.
Christie does too.
Oh, yeah, no, I had your first, okay. So Carrie Mullins, as the chair for the Alcona County Republican Party, I'm very happy to know that the Board of Commissioners approved Resolution 2020-13 and 2020-14. Specifically in 2020-14 resolution, the Board of Commissioners encourages citizens to do their due diligence in electing their public servants. And in so doing, the Alcona County Republican Party has always had an open and standing invitation for anybody who is running as a candidate, particularly with those with an R next to their name, come and speak at our meetings. I heard a giggle over in the corner. I'm like, really? You laughing at me? Okay. So that still stands. We are actually meeting the fourth Monday of the month in person, and we do have conference call. Alcona County Republicans at gmail.com. You can send me an email. Send me a copy of your bio. Send me a little note that you would like me to read for the constituents. Help us out. Help us do some research. If you are running with an R next to your name, we should at least know who you are, what position you're running for, and what you stand on. It's just that simple, and I try to make myself open and available as much as possible. The Alcona County Republicans is looking to do more endorsements. I mean, recently we endorsed Craig Johnston over Bill Thompson, and I'm specifically going to call out Bill Thompson. Those of you who know him, please pass along the invitation. We were very disappointed to hear that he would rather have spoken at the Democrat meeting rather than to the Republicans prior to the election. But hey, that's his choice. And we unanimously approved that Craig was a better man for the deal. I wish that had turned out a little bit better, but it is what it is. Not over with yet. Well, the recount is, they're not doing that, just out of curiosity, that's not till September? Recount?
September 3rd.
September, okay, there we go. So yeah, September 3rd is when you're gonna have your recount results, which will be hopefully,
Hoping for a different outcome.
yes, hoping for a different outcome. So basically with that being said, again, Alcona County Republicans at gmail.com. At least ask your Republican candidates, really any candidate, no political affiliation, whatever, just send a quick email. That's all I'm asking people. I'm begging you. Just send a quick email and let me know that you exist and that you're running for office. I know Gary has been, I'm going to call you out too, Gary. Gary and Craig and Carolyn have all been paid members of the Republican Party. Adam, you're always invited. Dan, you're always invited. Steph, all you guys, you're always invited. I do send out emails at least once a month with invitations to the meeting. Like I said, we do also have, I have my little cell phone, and I do have freeconferencecall.com, so people can call in and it'll show up on my phone and I'll know who's there, and I can open up the line and have you guys talk that way. So I'm just trying to make it available to everybody. It's not only for us to vet you, but it should also be a source for you guys to reach out to more people. Okay? That'll be it. Thank you, guys.
Thanks, Gary. Any other public comment?
Oh,
Christie, did you want to go first?
No, they can.
Okay. Frank?
Just briefly, I just wanted to point out that Alcona County Republicans meet at the Chosen Ranch building in Lincoln. But I want to make this perfectly clear. They rent it from us. It's open. If the Democratic Party or any other party wants to come in there, I believe there's strength in knowledge. And I'd just like to hear what everybody has to say. I think at some point, we're all gonna have to put our swords back in our scaffolding, whatever it is, and come together and listen to each other. Because we're all Americans. And when the crazies start calming down a little bit, we gotta get back together. So I think it's beneficial for everybody to understand other people's point of views. You don't have to agree with them, you don't have to hate each other. But we got a lot of good people in this county. And if they choose to get led by a different animal, it's fine with me. The building's there. So I just wanted to make that clear there.
Thank you, Frank.
Community center.
bravo.
Thanks, Frank. Anyone else?
Yeah, the lady.
Oh, Christie.
Christie?
Okay, you know what, Christie Holmes. I'm not
You're good there.
Anyways, I'm from the chamber, and so far, you guys haven't paid your dues yet, and so I was just coming to kind of reinforce that. And, I know we're all in troubled times, so we are coming out to say that if a group can't pay the $100, we're willing to drop it down to $50. But you have had coverage through the internet, through all exposures, for that.
Okay.
Carolyn, I'll give it to you. And Carolyn, I have been talking to her about the rent. Lenny and I had come here, and that was when the COVID thing was big.
Oh.
And we had talked to you about reducing our rent.
Mm-hmm.
Carolyn has mentioned to us about Precious Paws and how they have gotten a grant. And so we reached out to the same people that she told, Precious Paws, whoever you told me that.
Mhm.
was. So we're gonna work on that and try seeing if we can't get something back.
Did we budget for this?
Yeah.
Did we budget for this?
I don't know. I'll find out today.
All right. We'll
Thank you.
get on it. Any other public comment? All right, hearing none. Commissioners additional.
I have
Oh,
a couple of
I'm
comments.
sorry.
Yeah, online.
Who do I got out there? I forgot all about you guys. Scott?
Go ahead, Lenny. Lenny.
Lenny?
Lenny.
Yeah, so the resolution that you guys just passed, are you guys gonna be making that public so the public can review it and look at it? And
Yes.
that's the first question. Are you gonna put that on the website so that there'll be some review?
Sure.
And did you take public comment before you guys passed the resolution to have people talk about it, or was this the first time it was brought up and then you guys passed it?
Well, we've had.
So, yeah, there was public comment before the meeting, or at the beginning of the meeting on this.
Okay, but it wasn't like put out in the public so everyone could review
No.
Gary's
No,
resolution before the commissioners adopted it.
No.
Okay, that's what I wanted to clarify. Okay,
Yep.
all right, so just, that's kind of my two questions. My comments are for ACCOA. We have 2 additional pop-up pantries coming up for Friday, 21st and the 28th. We've just completed the partnership with the USDA. We no longer have the Gordon Foods partnering with us. They were done on the 17th of this month. Year to date, we've handed out over $750,000 worth of food to our community. We're gonna be using the Food Bank of Eastern Michigan to finish out the month of August. And then we're going to take a brief hiatus where we're looking at possibly /census pop-up pantry on September 18th. I'll be getting more information out to the board and to the public on that, where we'll be promoting the census as well. So we're looking at offering a bike giveaway. I had originally planned to do a big event back in May, but because of COVID shutting down the world, I'm not able to do that. So we're going to do if you register for the census on the day of September 18, you can be registered to win a bike for your child. So we're going to have that information. We have some other things from Project Connect that we're going to be partnering with on that date. Like I said, I'll get more information to everyone as we get closer to that time. We are also pleased to announce that our programs, our non-emergency medical transportation program, as well as our adult home health services were approved by the state of Michigan, and now we are able to offer those services to the community. We will be putting out, like I said, additional information on our website, as well as sending out flyers to all of our subscribers and participants about those services. So if you are looking for non-emergency medical transportation to doctor's appointments and to those different services, please reach out to our agency and we'll route you to those prospective people. Also, we are looking forward to talking with groups like the Oconto Republican Party and others, including Democratic Party, anybody who has a lawn chair in their front yard to talk about the senior millage. So that's coming up on November the 3rd. And that's all I have. Take care, be blessed.
All right, thank you, Lenny. Scott?
Good morning, everybody. 2 weeks ago at your meeting, we talked about write-offs for EMS for the first 6 months of 2020. And we had some discrepancies between EMS and between the treasurer's office. And we've worked out those discrepancies, and I now have a final dollar amount for you. The write-offs for the first 6 months of 2020 come to $156,384.94. And the treasurer's office and in EMS agree on that dollar amount.
That was for the first 6 months?
Yes, sir.
Yep.
Can you bring that today, Scott, to the finance meeting?
I will do that, yes.
Thanks.
Anything else? How's everything else going?
We met this morning with Alcona Health Center in regards to our community paramedicine program. They seem to be on board. They're excited about the program. They didn't quite know of all the services that we could offer and the things that we could do with that. Dr. John Deary has agreed to be our medical control director for the community paramedicine program. That is different than our actual medical control director, which is Dr. Paul Bookey, who oversees the entire region. Friday, the 28th of August, we will go before the Quality Assurance Task Force, and they will approve our EMS study, our special study for the program. That's step one of getting everything approved. And on a emergency management note, the hazardous material emergency preparedness grant that we get every year. This year it's going to be $3,250 versus last year it was $1,000. That's all been sent into the state, and we're just waiting for the final approval and the distribution of the monies. That's all I have.
Do you have a anticipated start date on the paramedicine or not?
Yes, we're hoping early September.
Nice. You'll have people. You'll be staffing.
Yes.
For it.
We have two paramedics who have graduated the program. That was through Hennepin College there in Minnesota. All of our medics have been on a grant supported by the state of Michigan. So we've had no out-of-pocket money for education for those people.
Very good. That's kind of cool. We've been working at this for a while.
2 years.
Yep.
2 years.
When we do that, let's roll that out and make sure everybody knows what's going on.
Absolutely.
I mean, I know we've talked about it in the past, but press release. Let's get something out there and an explanation of what it is. Just a refresher.
We can do that.
Yep. All right. Thank you, Scott.
Thank you.
All right. Any other public comment? Any other commissioners' additional comments?
Yeah, just one quick thing. It said, about somebody had commented about not being quiet. And sometimes we have to be impolite we're always required to be polite.
Sure.
So I want to thank you for making that last correction to the last thing. You're
Mhm.
right. Every now and then, sometimes your feelings get ahead of your.
Mhm. Well, we all have feelings. All right.
Really?
Anyone else? Hearing nothing else? All right. Motion
Make
to
a
adjourn?
Motion to adjourn.
So moved. Thank you, everyone. Appreciate your time.
I'd like to say one thing, Craig.